just bloody killing me. Yeah, I've been doing all of that. I'm keeping it nice and moist. But it's just it's in those places where all the cracks are, like the base, the inside, the middle of my back. So kind of like any arm movement, just pulls the scabs.
What have you had?
Lots of different shapes, numbers, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just extra downloads and that. But I am happy when I look in the mirror. I can't stop smiling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not too bad. Joe, I didn't have my phone last time, so I thought, let me bring my phone this time so I can show you a couple of the people that I was referring to, if my bloody phone will let me, because it likes to go on a bit weird sometimes. So I wanted to show you George and Laura. Two that I said I'd hit with this. That's little George. It doesn't look so little on that picture, but he is little, and that's Laura behind him.
Yeah.
And then I want to show you. That's me when we all went out dressed in clay. We clayed up the night before. Remember I said that they made us do clay and sleep in it and then go down to the waterfall. That's me at the waterfall. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And then I want to show you a few videos of that's the leader. That's one of the other girls.
Okay.
Can't see it too good because she's got clay on her face.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then I'll just quickly show you some of those bloody voodoo tricks. I was telling you that it was quacking about.
I'm surprised they allowed you, Chloe.
Why?
I don't know. But I'm really surprised that you was allowed to Chloe.
Yeah, we were. This is all of us sitting in a circle.
It's about being in the moment, isn't it? So is that the one you was talking about? Yeah.
These two are part of the retreat, those two women. Why will it not play?
It's just reception.
This is his magic wand of sticks. That when he talks to what. So basically, he's saying that there's spirits in it.
Why couldn't he just be doing that with his hands?
Yes.
His fingers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. However, the bowl one.
This is a nightmare.
But there's not a video on that one. Oh, Joe, if we get it to play later in the reception, it might be better out there.
Yeah.
In the admin thingy. But I just wanted to kind of show you some of his little voodoo things that he had going on, and some of the people at the retreat. So
I know there is a bit of a different experience, but just overall, it was still amazing experience.
It's so good, Joe.
And just so much out of reality, isn't it?
Yeah, but almost, to me, not even that it was out of reality. It kind of put reality into perspective. I think
I mean, day to day, sort of, it ain't tips anything.
It's not tips in.
It's why
it's not tips in. It's not tips in. And also it's the world.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the world, Joe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't just want to see Africa. I want to see the world.
How do you think it's impacted you since you've come back?
I feel happy.
Yeah.
I feel fucking happy, Joe. I don't know if it's because I'm going back why I feel so happy, but I feel happy from the experience. Like, I was laughing on my way out of Ghana before I even knew that I was coming back so soon. But I was laughing on the way out. Like, it was fucking amazing. Like, it couldn't have gone, not that it couldn't have gone any better, but I couldn't comprehend any better for my first experience going into Africa. I've never felt so safe, which is so weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I felt safe as a majority, being around so many black people. Does that make sense? That was a completely different experience. And I've been to Jamaica before, where black people are obviously the majority, but it was so different. I think because the numbers are probably 3 times the amount of people. to be surrounded around all at the same time, and everybody looks like you. There's nobody walking past you. There's no. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And not only that, because you're going in as somebody from England, that you're on holiday, so you've got the finances to do what you want to do. There's a different type of treatment also on top of that.
Yeah.
So not only is there no isolation, no differentiation, but actually you're treated even better because you've come from somewhere else, and you're here to kind of enjoy the country's experience, and they want to make you feel welcome. They meet you with a welcome. That is how they open a conversation out there. They use welcome like it's hello.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they literally want to serve you. So everything is you're welcome, because they know a thank you is due to come somewhere. And I felt like an absolute fucking queen, to be honest. You know what I mean? The level of service, you know, the customer service, the concierge service. I just felt like I was giving money away, because I was just like, I was so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, they've took my bags without me asking.
Yeah.
You know, I've got tea at the side, and before I turn around, there's a drink. I felt accommodated.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt, you know, and again, not just in the hotels and the tourist industry, even when I went out into the sticks, Joe, and I went into the sticks, Joe. I'm talking like if I was killed there, nobody would have ever found me. Do you know what I mean? You would never have found me. It's not even on the fucking map. And even when I called the Uber from the hotel, from like the main part in Accra, and the houses are the same price as they are in America, babe. You know what I mean? I got a quote the other day for a 1-bedroom apartment in Accra, and they want $200 and something thousand for it. So the perspective of Africa that I says to you that I was going there to see for my kids, I fucking saw. You know, I really did. So yeah, I just think that it's a land of absolute opportunity. The land
And
vast.
what about the kids? What have they seen that's different with you?
My son says to me, Mikhail, he said, Mum, I don't know what it is, but you just feel like pure white energy. You just feel like you're glowing. You just feel like, you know what I mean? So I know that there is a physical change in me as well as an internal change in me, because I do feel different. I feel like I wasn't scared to go, but it was definitely a sense of going into the unknown before I left. I knew I had to do it though.
Yeah.
So I knew.
We spoke quite a bit about that.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to get, but everything that I didn't want to happen, that I wouldn't have wanted to happen, happened. And everything that I would have wanted to happen, happened. And I think that's the magical thing, that I think the universe is just showing me that your fears are pointless. Because even when we take you there, so what? Does that make sense? So what? Yeah. It's not as bad as you think it is. And no matter how bad it is, so what? You can always rise from whatever that point is. And I think when you go into life with that perspective, you just kind of think, what the fuck? I'm just going to do whatever then. And I feel like I'm doing that already. Like, I'm making plans. Like, the guy that I've met over there, I was saying to you that I called an Uber. But I tried to get Uber and I couldn't get it on my phone. So I got Bolt, actually. And a guy came and picked me up, and I was like, I need you to take me to this hotel. It's like nearly 5 miles away. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, but how am I getting back? You're going to have to pay for the trip back. I said, what are you talking about? A taxi takes you somewhere, and they find their whole fucking way back. But I hadn't calculated, not only had I not calculated the miles that I covered in 5 hours of driving, because it's like here to fucking Scotland, really, isn't it? I hadn't even considered that far out doesn't even have Uber. The roads are not roads. Do you know what I mean? So you're in the sticks, so there's no sat-nav, there's no Uber services. So he's making me know that when I get there, how am I getting back? So you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So this just dawned on me while I was in the taxi with him. So I was like, okay, hold on a minute, let's think about this. So I said, what's the situation? So he said, well, if I come, I can come down there with you. I'll sleep in my car, you sleep in the accommodation. No problem, I'll bring you back. So that got me thinking. I thought, fucking hell, okay. I definitely want to go down there, because it's my ancestors telling me to go down there. And not only that, the voodoo woman, or the retreat lead, and my friend who's a voodoo priest, were both trying to take me to Volta. Do you know what I mean? Both were so eager to get me to Volta because it's like the highest voodoo spiritualist place in Ghana. So imagine if it was like Wolverhampton. You know what I mean? That's the place that, you know, you stay away from or you go if you're interested in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't necessarily go into those places alone.
Yeah.
But that was what I was planning to do because I was just walking with my ancestors and it was like, we're going Volta. I was like, all right, safe. So he took me down. So we agreed that he'd come and he'd stay in the car. But we agreed that we'd go down there for 2 days. We ended up spending 6 days in Volta. Can you imagine? We went to one of the slavery museums. I bought this book, and the 2 clangs on the book just happened to be his tribes. 1 his mum's and 2 his dad, the driver. So now we're all doing like documentaries and whatever else on all of this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah. I said, that's it. We're going to speak to your mum. He's got 2 mums, his biological mum and the mum that raised him.
Yeah.
His dad died young, so obviously his mum spread the kids out between different family members. But the woman who raised him is the queen mother of that area of Volta. So like they still have chiefs in villages, even though it's modernized. That concept of African law and tradition still very much is weaved.
So they live in accommodation as being modernised, but
they
not
live
there.
in accommodation as being modernised, but they've still got their chief. Their chiefs are respected by the prime ministers. Do you understand me? So the prime minister rules and the chiefs have dominion over their area, which is bloodline based. Do you know what I mean? And then the chief, the queen mothers, are selected by those elders of chief tribes. Do you know what I mean? So his mum has been the queen mother for 43 years in hers. I met other queen mothers in other states. I got to dance with them. I'll show you on the videos because I went to this amazing funeral place. You should see their funeral. It's like a fucking carnival. So then he drove me all the way there. That was another 4 hours in another direction. Met with the queen mother. That was a beautiful, beautiful experience. Found out that he's next in line to become the chief of fucking Volta. My Uber driver, mate.
You wouldn't imagine it from an Uber driver.
What the fuck? This is why it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because lineage and royalty is different to how we perceive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In the UK, it's very much almost on an untouchable level, whereas over there, they're part of the community. Which makes fucking sense, to be fair, because that's at what point did we become segregated, aren't we people? So then what happened is me and the queen mother and I got on so well, which was she told me her story, how she became the queen mother. It was so amazing. Like, I shouldn't have access to these people. Hugging, embracing. This is a man, I don't even fucking know him, you know, when you think about it. But I had so much fun with him, Bab. I really, really did. And I felt so safe with him. He calls me mum and I call him son. And that's the relationship that we have. Does that make sense? The boys spoke to him from when I was in Africa. He told them, I look after your mum. They was like, you know what, really appreciate that, mate. He was like firms in over the phone. I transferred his details still. I wasn't stupid. So they had his driving license, his registration plate, his details or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if anything did go wrong, the kids, I didn't know where I was, but the kids knew who I was with. Yeah. And that would be easy to find because he's already in the boat system and you know what I mean? Like he's already, and not only that, he won the competition of 200 little car drivers. Do you know what I mean? We cut down to 20 and then he's done so much. He's been a head teacher at a school. Like through these long journeys, we developed this relationship and I got to learn more and more about him. His wife died 4 years ago after their daughter was 1. So his daughter is with his biological mom, being raised. She's 5 now. He runs the driving business. He's got a food business. It's doing all these little... You can never just judge anybody by the first time you flipping meet them, can you?
You never know the story.
You never know the fucking story, Joe. No. Do you know what I mean? And when I say he's a boss man, he's gone and set me up with all these schools in Ghana, which I'm going over next week to talk to. You know what I mean? Because he's got all those links and experience over there. I joined TikTok when I got back. I've got 1,000 bloody followers already. And he's got 5,000 followers. And we're like, do you want to do a duo? And he's like, you know, my brother and them have already got a YouTube page. They've got however many fucking 100,000 followers and all the rest of it. They can edit the videos. Like, every time I say something to him, he's got a little box of surprise. Yeah. He got my papers. I've got non-citizenship in Ghana now. I nearly got citizenship in Ghana because he knows all the people in the embassy.
Yeah.
This one little Uber driver.
My word, he's got a finger in every point.
He's got a finger in every flipping point. I went to Ghana for a week and I'm a Ghanaian now. It's not what you know, babe. It's flipping me, you know, sweetheart. Oh, God, this bad. But I've got a Ghanaian like a driving license thing, but it's a citizen card. And when I go over there now, I'll get when I go over there now, I'll get my driving license, I'll get my paperwork, etc. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can live freely over there. I can buy land out there. I can do whatever.
Sounds like you've just gone home.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
There's something about the land, babe. I danced on it barefoot.
It's free, isn't it? And embracing.
You have no idea.
It's obviously fulfilling everything that you need.
It's a cellular level.
Yeah.
Cellular level. And I feel quite humbled by it too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so much happened to me spiritually. Like, I experienced things on a psychedelic level that surpass what I've experienced here in the UK. And it should have rocked me. But I remember myself being in some of those moments saying, you know what, just blow my head off. Whatever it is that you have to show me, whatever it is that is downloading, whatever it is that this energy force is rushing through my body, I surrender. I fucking surrender, Joe.
Do you think it's because it's so acceptable there that it's not something that, you know, you can talk freely about your experiences and about different things, whereas you've said before when you spoke about certain things, especially spiritually, it's as if you've been not castrosed, but
no, I hear you.
That thing from family, particularly. It's like you've always had to
mind my P's and Q's.
Yes, and not be able to be your true, authentic self.
You know what the liberating thing is, Joe, if I'm completely honest? I had that perspective when I walked into it, that it would be amazing to go somewhere, be somewhere where I could be open and I could be transparent about it. And in all truth, the experience gave me that. Yeah. There's nothing weird. I didn't do one weird thing out there in terms of what they believe. Everything I did was in accord. When I did something, they were telling me, my God, you're either Afui or you're Afu. Do you understand me? You're channeling, but which way are you They're able to tell me. She let us watch this psychedelic video as part of the training before you actually done the psychedelics.
Right.
And the video was of her friend from America who also trains in ayahuasca and stuff like that. So they're giving you the scientific knowledge as well as the physical, metaphysical knowledge of taking it. And I got triggered within the first 5 minutes of the video because the video was saying things that I was like, because basically she was saying at the first bit was like, you know, when you're experiencing these experiences, they're not weird. What you're experiencing is real. It's just a different reality. Yeah? Which is fine. But then she went on to say things, and it's almost like I can't remember word for word what she said in that particular moment of triggery. But what it was, we ended up stopping the video and talking about it with the group, and everybody kind of nodding like, yeah, you're right. Something isn't right there. So then as it played again, she said, when you take it, some of the things that might happen that you might see. She mentioned animal avatars coming out of you. She mentioned, which is a thing for me because I've already experienced all of that from the UK, but had no external understanding, just the inner understanding of what I've experienced, and can link it to certain things that I've seen on YouTube to know that it does exist, but it doesn't exist with everybody. But what she was saying is that with the ayahuasca, those are one of the side effects that can happen. It will unlock that third eye for you to experience, or people have experienced those things happening. I'm experiencing that without the ayahuasca. That's what I'm saying. Like, my experience is very much like being on psychedelic drugs, but without the psychedelic drugs. Because when I talk to my son, who has psychedelic drugs experience, he can relate to my experiences. I've just got there without the drug enhancement. There's a chemical stuff going on, and there's something fucking going on, and that's how. So when she then turned around and said, "Oh, you might see markings on people's bodies, because apparently we have markings on us," and I know we do because I was in bed with a fucking nigger after doing MDMA, in 2022, and fucking realizing that it's got shit on him, and then standing him up and realizing that his whole body is perfectly covered with geometry, like you couldn't paint that on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? From all over his bald head, around his face, the back of his ears, where all these lines and patterns were, Joe. It was like something out of the fucking Black Panther. I seen him light up. So I've seen all these things at different periods and different moments, and this woman was talking about them on this experience. Like, this is what the ayahuasca is all about, unlocking the ability to see these things and engage with them. So it kind of just, it put me in a back step. And I think it put me in a back step because the way she was describing it was from a scientific point of view, as opposed from a natural point of view. It was the scientific relation around it, which wasn't what I needed. Does that make sense? I don't want to hear the bullshit that the scientific people put on it to justify why it happens, as if the medicine and there's a scientific reason. When I'm somebody who hasn't had the medicine, I'm not taking psychedelic drugs in the moments of after 2022. I've not taken psychedelic drugs, but I'm still having experiences that are giving access to psychedelic experiences.
Do you think that's why you chose not to take it?
I think partly it made me realize that I don't need it. But at the same time, I was interested in taking it because I also wanted to see what it was like in a controlled environment.
But if you're achieving what they're saying that the drug would achieve, then how much more are you going to achieve by having it?
Well,
Which would be quite,
I don't know.
Scary maybe, or not sort of, because none of it's scary for you. Well, some of it might be, but if you're sitting there and she's talking and saying it might be doing this, it might be doing that, and you're having all of that without having it, what's the next level for you?
That's what I'm
by
saying.
Having it?
That's what I'm saying. I think the next level, and that was my concern as to why I didn't take it, was that she wouldn't have been able to manage me in that scenario. In a scenario,
So you didn't feel safe.
I didn't feel safe, babe.
So you felt safe on the whole experience, but on a one-to-one personally,
I didn't feel.
Taking that, you didn't
I didn't feel safe on any of the experience, and I felt totally safe on all of the experience. Everything in my life is duplicity. It's a paradox. It's yes and no, all at the fucking same time. And I think I said that to you before I left to Africa. Like, it's a mind fuck. I'm just enjoying that it is and it isn't all at the same time. I was absolutely terrified in Africa. I had no fucking clue. I was in the middle of nowhere with these crazy people, babe. There's nothing more scarier. Yeah. 5 hours away from my passport, babe. I had reason to be scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was talking in African. I had reason to be scared of myself.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of shit that I'd never seen myself do. I definitely had reason to be scared.
When you go back, you're not going to be with these people, are you?
No. But the thing is, I had spiritual encounters with Sam. And I went on just as crazy with him. And it was okay. Does that make sense? It was okay. He told me when I needed to be quiet. Sam the Uber driver. Yeah. He told me when I needed to keep it down. He said I would say to, like I told him to, what did I do? When I went to the first hotel, because I didn't tell you, when I went to the first hotel in Volta, when he drove me all the way down there, when I say the first hotel, they took me to one hotel, told me to sit there, have a drink, my spirits did. And then they told me to get him to take me to the second hotel, but not go to the second hotel first. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I went to the second hotel, we checked in. So my ancestors took me up the road. When I say they take me up the road, Joe, they take my legs. I don't have a choice but to walk, and I'm not sure if that's coming across. that when the channeling is happening and I'm aware of it, in Africa, in England, it's a night. It's like a breeze going through me, and it pulls me around like a breeze, and it's really like, you know, it's very comforting, and I'm allowed to just allow myself to let go.
Yeah.
I can sing along to the music and make my body do its thing. I can think about the shopping that I've got to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In Africa, and don't get me wrong, it has happened in the UK. There was a time back in 2022, we had the cat. Yeah, 2022. I was in Bullring, and I was with my son and his girlfriend, Joe, and I started walking backwards in the middle of fucking Bullring, and I couldn't stop myself. And I was saying, Cavell, Cavell, Cavell. And I said, fucking stop me. And like when I gave him that fucking stop me look, he came over and he pulled me. So that was probably my first encounter of my legs just going off and doing what they want to do. And I can't emphasize that enough, because it's a weird thing to happen, but it's no longer a weird thing to happen. So
in the UK or in Africa?
In the UK that happened, but now in Africa it's really happening, Joe.
But it doesn't feel weird when you're in Africa doing it.
It's not. It is weird, because even the Africans are looking at me. They're scared of me.
Mm.
When I went up the road, when my ancestors took me up the road, they took me, and as soon as I got to the family's house, my legs turned. It's not even a fucking joke, Joe. It seems so. They can see the ghost in me. So as soon as I do a little move like that, in Africa, no matter where I've been, they all step back a little bit, because they are terrified. They know ghosts are real. That's why they're fucking scared. They know dead men walk.
Mm.
Does that make sense? So they're not scared like horror. Ooh, they're scared because they know, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
There's an awareness straight away, Joe.
Yeah.
And that's what I realised with them. That even when I just did a little step out, they was on it, because I'm watching them watching me, and I'm watching them watching me.
Yeah.
So my legs take me up the road. My legs take me up the road, and then I turn and I'm at these in front of these people's home, and there's about 6 of them, and I just turn, and as I turn, the mum, who's the man's daughter, grabs the child and puts them on the other side. So I smile and I introduce myself as Asherah, so they can hear that I've got an English accent, because that tends to bring things down a little bit. But remember, I've got all these shells in my hair that represent voodoo priestess in initiation training, which I didn't know. My nan was just like, put them all in your hair, the night before I was going to Africa. So I had so many of them. It never looked like this, Joe.
Yeah.
I was looking, my whole head was covered with them. So I'd gone there dressed in all the colours that were so symbolic, like everything I did. Even the symbol on my hand, it's one of their national symbols on the gates outside their presidency. And my nan had that tattooed on my hand from 2023. So there was so much of me that I was seeing out there, that she was laying breadcrumbs for me to experience. And that's why there was fear without fear. Because even though I didn't know where I was stepping, I knew it weren't me stepping my feet there. So I didn't have to worry about where they stepped. I'm completely confident that, Joe, they've took me into places that I should have marks on me, I should have scratches on me, if not bruises and bumps on me. And every single time I've come out without a scratch. How many times? They don't need to prove it to me anymore. They don't need to. They got me in the madhouse and they got me out the madhouse. They got me in Africa and they got me out of Africa unscratched.
So where you're at now?
I'm just at a plateau, like whatever you want me to do.
So what about the reality of England and commitments and family?
I'm making adjustments.
Okay.
I spoke to the kids when I met them last week Saturday, and I'm meeting them again this Saturday. They love all the pictures because I put everything on an account, so it's just likes, and they get to see Africa and mommy dancing and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I brought them back little trinkets and stuff like that. I packed so much in my suitcase to go, I couldn't bring anything back, could I? But what I could bring back is enough to show them elements of Africa, some traditional culture, things, paintings and stuff like that, you know. So they you know, my daughter loves her painting, because it's just like a beautiful black woman's figure, and that's how she looks. She's so do you know what I mean? She's so voluptuous, my daughter, and Yeah. I mean, my children don't know in terms of migrating, and I don't think I'm not sure that it's a whole 100% thing. I just feel like I went over there and I had an amazing experience, and I'd like to spend as much time as I can there, as well as going to other countries, and whatever that looks like to the universe, I'm happy. I don't care. You know what I mean? I really don't care. I just think there's so much potential out there. There is so much money to be made there, Joe. How crazy. I feel like I can make more money in Africa than I can in the UK.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
So you're going back next week?
Yeah.
And how long will that be for?
2 weeks. 2 weeks of me not having to deal with any retreat, just doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I've got meetings set up out there, business meetings and bits and bobs. I've got meetings at some of the official offices to get some stuff and that sorted out. His brother works for a bank. So his brother called the bank manager when we was over there, and she was like, yeah, come down. So I was like, can I get there for 4:30? She was like, no problem. So I literally went up to the 12th floor in one of the biggest banks in fucking Ghana and had a fucking meeting with her about my fucking business. Like, literally, that's what I'm saying, Joe. Like, it moves so quick.
Yeah.
It moves very, very quick. You couldn't get a bank manager meeting over here like that. You can't get a doctor's appointment that quick. It just moves really, really well. And Sam, I've got my ups and downs with Sam, because the reality is I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
That is the actual reality. But how do I feel inside my spirit? My ancestor said to me when they called the Uber, you don't need to worry about anything. You know, I didn't know where I was going. I just had an address. I just had 2 addresses, 2 hotel addresses that were 5 hours away from where I was. And that's it. That's all I knew that morning.
Where are you going to be stopping when you go back over?
I have no idea. I don't. When I say I have no idea, I know where I'm stopping on the first night and the first couple of nights, because we've got the meetings in the area at the schools. So I know that I'm going to be down them side. But after that, we're doing a road trip, Bab.
Yeah.
We're literally going anywhere we want. I found a few people on YouTube that are doing great stuff out there, farming, all kinds of agriculture. I wouldn't mind going to see some of these people to see how it's going and what it is that they're doing. You know, there is so much land, even though land is complicated to get your hands on because it's all hereditary and stuff like that. But he's got land.
So what are you searching for out there? Is it for?
I'm not searching.
Not searching, but what are your hopes and your dreams?
To be found, to be discovered, to be discovered. I think that's what it is. I feel like there's a discovery.
Mm-hmm. For you or for other people?
I think for other people. I really do. And I know that might sound a little bit egocentric, but I really think that it's the world that is yet to discover me. And I think that I've spent a long time feeling like I need to jump up and down. Look at me, look at me. Does that make sense? Being in a family where you're constantly ignored unless you're doing something for someone. Does that make sense? A feeling obliged. I've literally lived a life serving. I really have. I've literally lived a life serving, like Cinderella, overlooked. Does that make everyone knew Cinderella? You know, they could see her beauty, they could see her shine, but she's still overlooked and made to feel like she's fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good job Cinderella had her birds.
Yeah.
And I've had my fucking birds. Thank God. Nah, seriously, that's not even a joke. Thank God for my damn birds, for real. But I feel like it's not for me to jump around and be heard anymore. I feel heard. I feel that I've heard myself. I've heard. Yeah. I've heard myself, Joe.
Yeah.
I know myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know myself to a point now where, yeah, there can't be the fear of being hurt, because the minute I see a red flag, I step off.
Okay.
That feeling of obliged, that feeling of whatever, I step off.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that monkey, the ex-husband, kicking off. And you know what it's like? Someone described it the other day. You know when you're on a boat and there's a dog barking at the side of the bank? And you can hear the dog barking, woof, woof, woof. But as your boat's drifting down the stream, the bark's getting further and further and further and further away. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it feels like. I feel like his voice, his energy has become a distant echo. To the point where I'm like, can I really not hear the noise? Can I really not hear the noise?
That's been coming for a while though, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's just, I think I took my power back when I got back from Africa. He threw nonsense at me through the Sen Tribunal. He's talked all my business out in an email. How dare you? And I just said, listen, that's defamation of character. You have a responsibility to do something about that. And these are the things I want done. I demand it. He sent a quick email back. I apologize. Like, I didn't mean to, wait. But I've left it in their hands. He sent another email. Tyrone is not allowed to have a mobile phone. No problem. Don't have to be a drama queen. Shut it down. He sent another one through the courts. Oh, she won't send me her bank details and her driving license. I will not be sending you any of my personal ID. I don't have to give you my ID for you to pay me my fucking money. Pay me my money. Then he's had another one from a solicitor surveyor. We need your ID. Did you get the email? Who are you? You're a third party. I don't even need to correspond with you. Do you know what I mean? And furthermore, why does your email address look different? And why can I not see your face on your company website? Are you even real?
Yeah.
So I've sent an email to her management and her last week. I still haven't heard anything. So it's like tumbleweeds. Do you know what I mean? I've sent these emails, shut a man down. And now it feels like tumbleweeds. I just think, imagine if it would always feel like tumbleweeds. That'd be good. I like saying tumbleweeds.
I've noticed.
Well, it is like that, Joe. It's just like...
It's really strange because in Reiki, when everybody's experience is different, isn't it? But something that keeps coming up with Reiki is tumbleweed.
Does it?
That was really, really weird.
Really what do you mean? How does it come from Reiki?
So, the Reiki master, the I say, then she will often talk about when people, when she's doing the Reiki, people releasing tumbleweed.
Oh.
And you can literally
see them roll off.
Yeah, see it go out, so it just made me laugh at that.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Of all the things to explain something by, that's it. Quite significant for me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it comes from like one of those John Wayne cowboy movies when the bad boys come into town and the tumbleweed goes past and nobody's around. That's what it feels like. Where's the fight? Motherfuckers! I'm ready for my accuser, I'm ready to have some backlashes from these emails. And I'm here all blazing and it's nothing but tumbleweed.
It's just that knowing that you've got to, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that I am energy, babe.
Yeah.
It's that I am. I feel more powerful now than...
You're looking.
Yeah, I do. I feel like...
It's like you said, it's always that. But we are yin and yang, aren't we? We are. Well, that's how we are supposed to be. It's that calm, but also the knowing and the sort of energy of the storm.
The storm, babe. The storm.
Yeah.
I said to my son when I came out. No, but I'm both at the same time. Yeah. Even when I sit here, that's why I go loud and can go quiet. Because there is I said it's like Tasmania. Do you remember Tasmania?
Yeah.
I said, Mikhail, it's like an atom bomb.
Yeah.
When somebody looks at me the wrong way, as much as I'm calm, somebody looks at me the wrong way, the heat, it's like the boiler turned on.
Is it different though to how it was when you first came?
Yeah, because I think I was so scared of the power. I knew that the power existed within me. I've just been terrified of it. It's like a typical superhero film, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like great power, great responsibility, yada, yada, yada. And I think I've always known that. I think that the truth of the reality is the I am energy that coming from Africa, even though the I am energy was in existence before, at least the fragrance of it was definitely in the air. What's happened since the journey of Africa is that I have accepted who I have always been.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying that it was never, I was acting like I was waiting for the world to accept me when actually I was just waiting for myself to accept me. And that's the yin, that's the gist of it. Do you know what I mean? It was just me having to be put in a position where I'm okay. Had my headscarf off, my hair out, completely my authentic self.
Yeah.
If I got up and greased my face, I'd wake up, I'd be up at 2 a.m, 4 a.m. My clock was no different from the UK. Every time I opened up my door, Sam's door opened at the same time. It's like he was energetically synced with me. Do you know what I'm saying? His door opened on his room. And he'd come out. He said, "You're going outside for a cigarette?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm coming." And he'd sit outside, wait for me to have my cigarette, make sure I've got back in my room, and then go to sleep. I'd say, right, sometimes I was being held down by demonic beings and entities. I couldn't sleep in some of the hotels. Couldn't sleep in some of the places that we just ended up. So I'd stop in the car, and he'd sit in the car with me, and I'd fall asleep, and I'd wake up 2 hours after. And he'd be sitting there and like, "Fucking hell, Sam, why didn't you wake me up?" He said, "Listen, you haven't been to sleep. It's the first time you sleep in sleep." I slept so much in the car. I felt so safe. Yeah, even the long journeys he drove, I slept. I woke up. Do you know what I mean? It was a different sense of freedom. It was a different sense of being.
Yeah.
And every part of me was okay. Good. And even when I went out there and, I ended up meeting people and doing weird things in front of them, and even one man, he got so scared, he literally flew up from the table. It was just me and him. He owned the hotel, and he says to me, "God, you look like my sister's daughter." His sister had passed away. So as soon as I started to walk towards there, but my ancestors told me to go over, and I said, "Nah, man, he's eating, it's a bit weird, I'll just walk past this table." So they said, "Go over." So I've gone to walk past this table, and he's called me over anyway. Do you know what I mean? And he's going, "My God, Simone." And I said, "Nah, Asherah." And he's, "God, you look like my niece, Simone." Do you know what I mean? Do you know her? She's in the UK. She's studying in London. She's doing a master's, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I said, "Oh, no, but how amazing." He said, "Come and join me for dinner." He's told the woman, one of the women who checked us in, go and get. She was surprised because he don't sit with no one. You could tell that he was a firm man. He was a very man in charge. He was no nonsense. So she was like, giving me that look, like, all right. So you got something at fufu for the first time. It's all with your hands and everything. You would have thought I was an African woman all from a long time, babe. I was in there. It's so funny. And then we was chatting, and he was, "My God, you're remarkable." I was like, "My God, you're remarkable. This is the land that his ancestors owned, and he's built this most amazing, beautiful resort, Joe. It's fucking beautiful. It's out in the middle of nowhere in the sticks. It's beautiful. And there's houses. It's got about 100 properties on it. It's beautiful, Joe." So he's told me about how it come to be. His building, all his kids have gone to university. They're all doing their own thing. He's not really sure who's going to take over the family business, but that's what he wanted for his children. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They all studied in Europe or England, wherever. So they've all gone off to do what they want to do. But what's going to happen to this place? Yeah. So we end up getting into a conversation, and he says to me, "Do you smoke weed?" And I was like, "My God, absolutely." "I've got some." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Don't play." So we've gone over to the other side, and he has a private quarters, like a private area, which the resort people don't go to. And it's so beautiful. It's more beautiful over there, Joe. So we've sat in an area, and I noticed that there's nothing but birds around us. I said, "My God, it's like a nest." And he started laughing, and he said, "This is called the nest sutton. That's what it means in African. Because he built it to be a nest for the birds. But it's not many people that pick that up, you know what I mean?" So we were having dialogue. His sister that had passed away was also with us. So she was giving me information about him, which I was able to share and he was able to receive, you know what I mean? So we're chatting and everything. And next, with the weed and everything, it just enhances the channeling. Yeah. So I'm starting to move on the chair and whatever, and he starts talking to me, and I'm really, really now all of his business. You know what I mean? So I start to go in deep and tell him about what's going to happen in his future. He's not actually too happy with the information that I'm giving him. And that's because he's already had that scenario and it wasn't a good situation. And now things are in a better place for him. And now I'm telling him, just met him. I don't know his business to know what he's gone through or not. So he knows I'm chatting real stuff to him. But it's really difficult to receive, you know what I mean? Because it is, I understand why it is what it is. So he starts to ask me other questions. Who am I? And as he's asking me these questions, my ancestors are talking to him. But I don't even realize they're talking to him because I'm just moving. It feels like this to me, and then my hands are going. But I know in my room, when my hands are going, I know I'm talking. I know I'm doing something. I know there's communication. I know things are happening. I know that for myself. I didn't know that it could be understood externally to me until this man started to, I'm moving my hands and he's talking to my hands and my hands are talking back to him. So the questions he's asking, I'm just moving, Joe, and he's saying, yep, I got that. Yep, I got. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So there's me talking in different languages, but there's also, remember I'm saying I'm tapping and I don't know if the woman understands, but from her face, it seems like she understands and I can hear what the message is, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, my dad's tearing this woman up, Joe. I don't even know where to put my face, and I'm all up in your grill when it comes to cussing out. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not many things that make me shy away, but I swear the things my nan. Yeah. So he which was really weird. So then he asked me something, how am I sleeping? And I said, I'm not sleeping very well. I'm still talking to him, but I thought he was talking to me. So I can hear him. So on this one, when he said, how are you sleeping? Because I haven't been sleeping, Joe, I just felt obliged to answer. I don't know, it was just like he was talking to me. And I said, I'm not sleeping very well. And he said, why? And I said, because I keep being attacked at night. And he said, who's attacking you? I didn't say a word. My body just started to move in such a way. My mouth started to do something. He was like, okay, calm down. Do you know what I mean? So he jumped up from his seat and was like, whoa. But I knew from his reaction that he knew the name of the person, even though no name was spoken. But there was a name spoken because I heard some type of name spoken in my head, because even though it's happening outside, it's also happening inside. So there's an outside awareness experience and there's an internal awareness experience. The outside awareness is me seeing myself and seeing people's reactions to myself. So that's something that I'm calculating and I'm writing down and I'm observing. Oh, you understand? Oh, fucking hell. You know, it's a shock to me too, because I'm learning in the moment. And then there's an internal one, because I can hear what spirit's saying. I can hear my ancestors. You know what I mean? Like, I'm privy to certain conversations that are happening. So I get to understand this way and that way. Yeah. So obviously when he jumped up off the table and was like, whoa, calm down. It's all right. I slowed down a little bit. You know, my head stopped moving and I'm coming. And I was like, are you okay? Like, because I'm still in the energy of it, but I needed to show him that I was okay, for him to calm down, to sit back down, to be okay too. And he said, yes, I'm okay, but are you okay? And I said, yes, I'm fine. What makes you think I wouldn't be okay? And he said, you know what? He sat back in his chair and he says, that's true, you know. He said, sometimes I do jump to the assumption, and maybe sometimes I just need to relax and let things happen. Because there was more that wanted to be said, but because of his reaction, I pulled it back to show him that I'm okay. Are you okay? They want to say stuff, because 5 minutes ago he had invited us to his brother's home. He said, I must make you see my brother because you look so much like my sister's niece. I was going with my driver, but he was so welcoming. And then after that bit happened, he had to go somewhere. He never took me with him, Joe. He never took me with him. In fact, I never seen him again. And I waited up for him. And I waited the next day because we were going the next morning and I didn't want to leave. without saying bye. If not, just to say thank you for the hospitality, the meal, because we did have the best time there. We spent about 3 nights there. But we were going in the morning because we were going over to the monkey sanctuary to do all the kind of crazy stuff too. That was an experience, feeding little monkeys. They held, the granddad came down and gripped me by my thumb because he has to eat first, you see. You know. Okay. So it was brilliant. But so I didn't get to say bye to Tom. You know what I mean? And then when we went to the forts and I got into some of the places where they'd kept like slaves for months before the ships come in, and my ancestors were moving me around, I got to feel where some of the spirits in that building still were, you know, like I felt them. They moved me around. I felt so honoured, you know what I mean, to be a part of it, to listen to them, to feel them in the walls. Like I connected with things on levels that surpassed my experiences here in the UK, and I was okay with that. I'm okay, Joe. So that tells me that, you know what, that I don't need to worry. And the reason why I've taken a long way to answer your question, but you asked me a question about whether or not in Africa I felt free to be my authentic, autonomous self. And the reality is that Africa freed me up to feel that way inside. So I feel like because I have that inside, I have that anywhere I am. To the point where today I'm going to a radio show. He's invited me on and to do some marketing, but he's also offered for me to have my own show. And I'm thinking that this might be an opportunity for me to share. I know it's a big thing because I'm talking like sharing it on air. It could be interpreted anyway. It could go anyway. But I don't feel scared of that, Joe.
Don't you think that all of the work that you've done over this last 12 months really, don't you think that all of that now, in hindsight, was the preparation really for the retreat?
Absolutely.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird.
I know it's not weird because I know it's spirit and I know that everything's panned out for years ahead, but you know, it's very clear that you went there as open as you possibly could be to. I know that you were still a bit sort of.
I was shaking.
Yeah. But you know, you asked previously that you don't know if you're going to know how much of yourself to give.
Yeah.
You know, and but you've done the work, and it was hard work for you to do the work, but you did the work before you went even there.
Yeah.
You had laid the foundations, good, firm foundations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the first time it was, is it mentally or is it spiritually? But because of how much work you've done mentally, you were completely free then.
To be spiritually okay and to be spiritually vulnerable. Because even with the Uber driver, when we drove down, I said, Sam, listen, I'm a little bit outside the box. I got this and that going on. How do you feel about that? He said, I'm okay with that. So I'd spread it out on the line before we'd even gone down there, because I didn't want to lie to him because I couldn't predict what was going to happen or what wasn't going to happen. And he said, and the whole way through, before I started smoking marijuana, I was channeling. He was seeing me flipping, flopping, and then by the end of it, before the marijuana, I said, I'm a mad psycho. I told him I was in a madhouse. I told him, I literally put it out there. And he was like, you're far from fucking mad. You're a fucking genius. You're one of the smartest people I've ever fucking met. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, definitely you're not mad. So I said, well, let's smoke the weed and see what happens. So he was moderating me. He was like, you can have that little bit there. I couldn't find my split one down. I was like, Sam, I know you fucking hit it. Listen, I will fuck you up, mate. He was like, I'd never took it, Mum. I haven't took it. It's probably, you remember you said you was going to put it in a different part of your bag? I was like, oh yeah, let me check. When I checked, it was there. He's like, he observed everything I did. Like sometimes, you know, it was really refreshing about Sam. I swear to God, Joe. And I know his purpose in my life. And it's a choice. Does that make sense? Everything is a choice. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice to go into business with someone. It's a choice to go into a relationship with someone. It's a choice to go into a partnership with someone. And you've also got to see the pluses and the cons in it. And there were certain parts on our journey, especially when we were in the middle of nowhere, where he came through as my ex-husband's energy. These demons and entities, they jump into people, they jump into entities depending on where their frequencies are. I know that. I've seen it 100,000 times, and I've been recording it. So not only do I know it, I've got journals on it. Like so here we are with Sam in the car, and he's embodying some of the energy of my ex-husband, and I'm having to deal with that shit while I'm in the car with nowhere else to go. Does that make sense? With him knowingly and unknowingly contributing to the whole experience too. Yeah. So I've gone to places where I felt fearful of Sam because of the energy that I can feel around it coming through, etc. But then I've also learned how to talk to Sam to get other energies to come out of him. I know that when I'm in a place and I'm really, really not feeling safe, and Sam is doing things to make me not feel safe too, if I talk to him like he's an Uber driver, he snaps out of it. He becomes the Uber driver and he's back into that driver mode. Where do you need to take me where I need to go? Yeah. And then start the engine in the middle of the bush where we've just been for 20 minutes. Yeah. And then start the car up and drive. Do you know what I mean? So all of these little things I'm analysing, I'm assessing, spirit's keeping me updated, that's going on. So it's very, very analytical for me in the moment, in these experiences, while still kind of juggling the alchemization of fear between knowing and trying to maintain that balance mix. So I think by the end of it, Joe, I kind of got the book on it. Like, if you ask me a question about the experience, there isn't really an experience that I couldn't break down to the atom of it, because I've really have analysed it, and I've analysed it from every view. You know, I've taken skills that I've learned along the way in NLP and different things, and first positioned it, second positioned it, third positioned it, gone over bird's eye position. Do you know what I mean? Position, sat in your chair and how I'm being perceived, sat in my chair of how I... Do you know what I mean? Like, which way you want to cut it, I'd rather look at it. You know what I mean? And I think that I've gone around and I keep coming to similar conclusions, and that is that my life is not my own. I surrender it to the Most High. My life is not my own. I do not need to worry about it. Just like the birds don't need to worry about where food's coming from. I don't need to worry about where food's coming from. That's not my job anymore. It's not my job to worry. It's not my job to be the fucking worry police. It's just my job to live. All I need to do is reach for happiness. And it's the fucking hardest thing, because if you said it to someone else, all you got to do is reach for happiness. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I even start that process? But anything that makes me laugh, anything that tickles my belly. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Anything that tickles my belly, and the whole experience in Africa tickled my fucking belly. Even when I was being challenged. You know, this guy didn't want me to charge my mobile phone. I went and got Sam to go downstairs to the car, get my finger, and I plugged his out and I plugged mine in. You dare take mine out, mate? I'm going to show you, African woman. Do you know, like, even in my most masculine, shadowy side, I still loved myself. Even when I was wilding out, I still loved myself. Even when my nan was wilding out, secretly, I still loved it. I loved every minute of it. I love my shadow side, Joe. I love her. She's fucking badass. She's scary as shit, don't get me wrong, but she is badass. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm scary too. So why should I fear anybody or anything? You want to see scary? I can show you scary. You won't want to see my scary. Don't push my scary. You know what I mean? But I can protect myself. I can absolutely protect myself. I don't know at what point I felt like I couldn't. I just didn't. I stopped protecting myself.
But that doesn't happen just overnight, does
No.
It happens, and that's the problem with any abuse at all. You know,
it started well before my marriage.
Yeah, complex trauma it's a conditioning. It's a conditioning, and it happens. You know, it's not even a step. It's a conversation at a time, or a millimetre step at a time. It's not usually something that you wake up and
All
it's
of a
just like
sudden.
that. It's that constant battle.
Chipping, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's the dripping tap.
Yeah.
We'll fill a bath.
Yeah.
Eventually, ain't it?
Yeah.
I get it, man. I do.
I know, but you're whole.
I feel like there's still more of me to uncrack. I feel like a newborn chick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've just cracked a little bit of it. Like, fucking hell, there's a whole world out there. And then what happens when I say, like, I feel extraterrestrial. And I feel like I'm okay with that. Like, I know that there's elements of me that look a little bit extraterrestrial. When I was in the madhouse, didn't have my scarf, I'd lost a little weight. I looked at myself, I'm like, fucking hell, you look like E.T. Do you know what I mean? I swear down, fucking ugly, fucking beautiful at the same time. But I've got to be alright with the extraterrestrial me. I've got to be alright with the alien me. I've got to be alright with the out of box me. I've got to be alright with the spiritual me. I've got to be alright with the sassy me. I've got to be, you know what I mean? They're all me.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that.
Good.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I'm going to this radio station today to see what they're all about. But I feel like I've got stuff to say. And I feel like I'm in a position now where I don't feel like I need to defend myself. So I hope that I don't come across defensive.
Yeah.
If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't, babe. That's cool. You know.
And I wonder if, that's the sort of the huge light that you've been given and brought back is that you've actually experienced the true acceptance.
Yeah.
You haven't had to make yourself small or hide any bits of you, or not even acknowledge bits of you. You've been there, and it's all been accepted with people of like. More
than accepted, it's been enhanced.
Yeah.
They tell me about humans that turn into animals. Like, they believe that they disappeared, like they had that slaves vanished. Like, they talked about seeing people disappear. They talked about it's in Africa. It's a crime to kill an animal without cutting off its ear, because the animal would transform into a human, and they've realized they've killed a human. These are not folks' lore. These are actual facts that they believe in Africa. Their world is so much more like the inner world of my world.
Yeah, that's right.
My inner world is their outer world.
Yeah.
So
it just must be so
refreshing.
And refreshing.
It is. It's just like being around a bunch of black people. It's like going into a bank. You're probably never going to understand what that is. Does that make sense? Because it's such a flip-flop perspective to have. Do you know what I mean? But there's a different feeling without even realising that it was ever a feeling.
I don't know if it is a matter of just colour of the skin. It's a culture, isn't it?
It's everything. It's knowing that they're in that position. It's knowing that it's run by somebody black. It's knowing that it's black ownership. It's knowing that the land you're walking on is ancestral.
Yeah.
It's so deep. It's so deep.
Yeah.
It really is. I think there is such a disservice just from physically being not in the sun. Do you know what I mean? My melanin, everything glows, everything becomes alive, hair becomes alive. There's something in my DNA structure that says to me I should be in the sun. It's not just a desire or okay, we can. There's actually something physically in me that I know that there's a relationship with the sun. And even when the sun shines in the UK, do you know what I mean? But there's an element of it that is. I know that I catch a fire. I know that in the black community, I know we all catch a fire when summer's coming. It's something, carnival time. There's something in the air.
Last weekend was it? Yeah, last weekend when it started. It's going to come for the end of this week as well. Yeah, and people that I think it affects so many people when the days are grey and they're heavy, and it's like you constantly, everybody's just walking around doom and gloom, and Yeah, I get what you mean.
You get what I mean? Now
Yeah.
times that by
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Because that's the feeling when you, because again the sun shines, but when you actually touch down on Jamaica and touch down on Africa, it's times 10. It's more than the sun shining. There's actually something physical and metaphysically happening. Does that make sense? Like there's electrolytes happening in the body. There's melanin that creates the pigmentation that becomes alive when the sun shines on it. Does that make sense? So you're actually feeling something as well as having a visual experience of being something tropical. And that coupled with the seeing yourself again and again and again and again be repeated around you. Like there is a fear that comes over a black person when they walk into an environment and it's just white. Like for example, a pub. Do you know what I mean? And it's not because there's a fear, because you've walked into that pub probably 100 times, but it's something in the DNA that can't be explained. Just like a child who's grown up in a belly where mum has been going through domestic abuse, and now that baby is born, now that baby has just grown up with a nerve thing. Do you know what I mean? They don't know where it comes from in adult, but it comes from them being a baby in their mum's womb. There's just some things that just get transferred in the DNA. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Just like a royalty feeling too. It comes through in the DNA. You might not know what tribe you come from, but somewhere in the DNA you feel tribal. You know what I mean? Like it's very much coded. And I don't think there's enough research into it, because it definitely is a real thing. Yeah, just like I feel different with the moon. The moon makes me feel a particular way, even though it's only reflective energy, but it still makes me feel that, you know, you still feel that magnet pull, you still feel that essence, even if it's just on a menstrual level. Do you know what I mean? I just think again, like I said, it's not so much about convincing the world, it's more about just understanding the world within. And I think the more that I'm coming to understand the world within, the more the world is making sense to me. You know. Yeah, things are making sense, Joe.
It's like you've arrived with all the work that you've put into place over this last 12, 18 months. You've arrived, but at the same time, you've only just started.
It's the new beginning.
It's magical.
So
it's magical.
New. Yeah, it
You've
is.
just done absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
Everything's a choice, and you could have just lay down, but you didn't. You didn't.
I wanted to sometimes.
I know.
I did job quite even though. And I honestly, even
you know, still in the future, you might have days like that. It's a roller coaster. Allow yourself that time, but then make sure that you back up. So yeah.
Thank you. Joe, your magic, honestly. What are your plans?
I've got other clients today. Next week, I'm not here because I'm going to, and you're not here. So you're not going to be here for the week after either, because that will be the last one. But if you're not going to be here, then
This is our last one.
Yeah, this will be our last one then. Okay. Now I do lecturing. Just it's only once a year. I'd love to do it, but it's I don't know if I would love to do it, but yeah.
It's hard work, the run up to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only guest speaker.
I love that though.
Yeah, but it's something I've always loved to do.
Excellent.
So I'll go to the Birmingham University.
That sounds amazing, Joe.
I have enjoyed it.
Which who are you doing it with? Which department?
The faculty.
Which faculty? What's your subject that you're covering?
It's to cover for what's it called? It's my life at the moment. Multi-agency working.
Okay.
Multi-agency working.
Okay.
But yeah, it's it's something I enjoyed. But anyway,
Sounds
that's next
amazing,
Tuesday.
Sounds amazing.
And then I was going to do the following one as the last one. But what I'll do is I'll just do this as our last one. So yeah. Okay. But I mean, I'm sure I'll see you.
I'm going to pop in. I think when the kitchen's done, I'm going to use it to do my products.
Okay.
If it can be done as that, because the products, because it's all edibles. Yeah. You know, the oils and everything are all edible and consumable products. I didn't know, well, you can use a licensed kitchen for it, and I think if the kitchen's there from the size of it, I'll be able to get all my certificates to say that I'm working in a standard, good standard kitchen, and I meet the regulations. So I was going to speak to Chris about that, because if it's there to hire, do you know what I mean? I'm sure you're going to want people hiring it. Steve, why do I keep calling you
I don't know.
I swear to God.
Okay, so for 2 weeks, you're all right. I might need to just do it for that.
Yeah, I'd love to use the kitchen for it now. Get my father hasn't ever been out. You know what I mean? I know. But also, because the kitchen's so pretty, you can do all the marketing around it, show people how you do it, let it be all authentic and nice little place. You could have little workshops, one of the little side things. This year, what I don't, I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? I think like that. Because I'm using it, I was like, oh, that is so much really good. I went to the afternoon this week, didn't I? Was it last week actually? They had a Women's Day event thing. The National Women's Day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "This is a good friend." And I had some of the stuff that I made up in Africa.
Yeah.
She was like, "Yeah, can you do me an order?" But what she wants, I haven't got that product line in its entirety, because she just wants olive oil.
Right.
You know what I mean? What I'm saying is the orders are already there, so
Yeah.